Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. Two Gents Podcast. I got Byron Glass. He's on his way to his location. He's in the car. BG, how you doing today?
What's going on, Mr. Spikes? Another long day, but hey, we're here with two gents on the mic, ready to talk about some of the most current events going on here in this good old USA.
Yes, sir. And as we get ready to talk about these events, there's so much going on, and I just want to say, I have to make this announcement, this disclaimer. We're going to tell the truth. Whether or not you want to hear it, we're going to tell the truth. And that's what we're here to do. We don't sugarcoat. We just put it out there, and you can go do whatever you have to do to prove us wrong. And if you prove us wrong, we'll deal with that. You can call us. I'm going to put the number up early, Byron, tonight. Putting the number up early, so
Yes, sir.
I don't want to have no excuses, Byron.
Yes, sir.
You know, as I listened to, and I was encouraged to listen to Trump earlier, and he was going into with those world leaders around the world. And as I listened to Trump talk, I was so disappointed. Never have, as Americans, never been so embarrassed than what happened with the world leaders. I'm talking about he had world leaders from everywhere. And I listened to him talk, and I said, you know what? Baron, you know what I really said? I said, with everything that's going on, and he's out there just lying on top of lie, on top of lie, on top of lie. Nobody's counter-reacting. No counterproductive person out there. Nobody from the other side coming out saying, you know what? Hey, this is a lie. This is an outright lie. They're not even coming into the media to even correct them anymore. This is devastating, man.
Yeah. And Ron, you know, what used to be correct is no longer followed. What's incorrect is what's being followed. Now, if you sit and look at this man, you know, he is Joe Biden and all these people still live in his head. You know, and you look at these world leaders' expression when this guy's talking and he goes from one conversation to the next that's not even relevant to the subject matter that he's talking about. You know, Ron, I'm no longer embarrassed. I just got to the point now where I accept the fact that we have the most ignorant body that could be representing supposedly the most prestigious place it is on this planet. So when you look at 1 + 1, to me, it's not equaling 2. Again, in 2026, if the Democrats or some other party don't take control and some of the power back, what we now know as the free world will no longer exist in modern day era the way that it once was.
You know, Byron, you're absolutely right on that, and here's the reason why I say that. But before I do that, let me tell you, Pastor Riggins said that he might be able to come on tonight. He had a prior engagement, and I always say, we volunteered to do this. Ain't nobody, it's no money coming in our pocket. You haven't heard me say subscribe or like or do any of that. What we try to do is just put the information out there, and if you do it, that's fine. We're not out here trying to make it the next podcast that's making the biggest podcast out there. We don't have a staff to do it. We do our research on our own. We do everything for ourselves, and then we put it out there, and me and Byron sit back, we discuss it. As a matter of fact, we just had Byron, how long we was on the telephone for about an hour the other night, talking about the same stuff.
Yep, talking about the same stuff, Ron. And you know what's most important now is the redistricting concoction that these people have come up with. You look at California, who is trying to fight back. It appears that the Republican Party do not want that to happen. If you look at I guess you would call him the Speaker of the House. When you look at this man, on television talking, it's like, it's something that you would have never expected to take place, here in this country. But at the end of the day, Ron, this is what we're dealing with. So redistricting, Ron, redistricting. We really got to hone in on this redistricting. If you look out in the state of Texas, you look at the state of California, I think some of these other places are talking about maybe trying to create their own, resolutions or Senate Republican bill, Democratic bills to try to counter what's going on. And, the man is so stupid to where, he tells you that, he's doing this so, the Democrats can't win. Well, what about the democratic process? He's talking about throwing away, mail-in ballots. So what are people, that's overseas supposed to do? How are they supposed to vote? Because they're serving this country? Are they overseas? You telling me that they don't have a right to access to voting? Again, this man is all over the place with bumbfoolery, with stupidity, and with ignorance. And, for many of them that's following him, I have to say that I think that they're stupid. I think that they're ignorant, or they're somewhere in between.
You know what, Glass? I sit there, and I'm going to say this. I sit there and I listen to an interview of Dick Gregory, an old interview when he was on Roland Martin's show. Everything that's taking place right now, he said it was going to happen when Trump got in office. If you go back and for your information, just for your own information, go back and Google a show where Dick Gregory was on the Roland Martin show. I think Dick Gregory, and if you ever watched Dick Gregory on the show, and it's a panel there, Dick Gregory's gonna sit by himself. He's gonna be distanced from everybody else because he's gonna put out some information that maybe everybody on the other side is not gonna agree with. There was 3 panel members on the left, on the right-hand side of Roland Martin, and one was kind of young, one was medium age, and a couple of other people. And you're gonna get why I'm saying this. Dick Gregory was saying the same stuff. And Dick Gregory died before Trump was ever able to get into office for a second term. He was saying it then. He said, y'all not prepared for what's about to happen. You're not even on the same page for about what's about to happen. Dick Gregory passed away, and right here, Glass, right here, and the exact words that he used, we're not prepared. And I don't think that any of the candidates are prepared because they got them going left, right, center, whatever way that they're going, but they're not prepared for what's about to happen. And as Glass say, if we let this continue going, 2026 midterm elections, and I'm trying to drive the point home, Glass, because sometimes people they hear you talking and they listen to all the other talking heads out there, and they don't think it's a problem, man. They don't think it's a problem.
Right. Well, Ron, all you got to do is, look at what's going on. SNAP benefits are being taken away, but they're telling you what you can and can't eat. They sending federal troops in to do things that typical law enforcement agencies are ready to do. They got one of the senators and representatives over in the state of Texas in the room. If this is not what you call rogue, I'm not sure what rogue is. And the sad part about it, Ron, is they are defining or writing definitions that we already know what the definition is. You take, for instance, we know what martial law is.
Hey, I think BG reached that point.
European leaders, because nobody
BG,
in the room.
BG, if you go off, if you start, you almost lost your signal. But if you start to lose your signal, just call us back when you get to the house, man. Because you kind of.
Yeah, I'm about. I apologize, Ron, because like I said, I am driving from one destination to my other. But
I know.
because I'm dedicated and devoted, any opportunity I have to get on and make a presentation, I'm going to do that now. If you want to, I can digress for about another 15 minutes, let you handle it, and I'll log right back on.
That's fine. I got it, Glass. I got it. Go ahead and
Okay,
do what you
all
got
right,
to do, man. Get home, be safe, and get back on, cause I want to hear the rest of the story,
all
as
right,
they say. All right,
all
man.
right.
Be good, man. Hey, as we continue this process, it's one of the things that I want to share with you guys. And I got Byron's Glass pictures up there because it's frozen in place. I just don't want to feel like I'm on the show by myself. But I did this picture for a reason. When this picture was when I created this show, because this is where we at. Pretty soon we're gonna all be whistling Dixie because we agree to what's going on. And that flag back there was the South, was the South during the Civil War. And they had a purpose. They were against black people. They did everything that they possibly could to discourage blacks from doing different things in the world. From we wouldn't have had we wouldn't even have this format that we on right now. And the stupid stuff that Trump is doing right now, and I say this, and I really mean this. You got people. I'll tell you about a couple that I seen today. I was running in a convenience store, kind of taking care of some business, and I saw them up there, and we got into a normal conversation. I'm gonna keep the conversation private, but as I got to the door, they had a TV up there, and it had some news on. And when I got so close to them, they was telling me that did you have you seen the stuff that this man is doing? It's pausing people in the middle of whatever they're doing. The only thing they had to do was go out the door. But that TV and Trump's attention, and the guy was telling me, he said, have you just paid attention to what this man is doing to America? Have you dug in? And I let him finish, and as he continued to finish, one of the things that I told him was, I said, I do a podcast, man, and we talk about this all the time. I said I do a podcast, and him and his wife was there, and they looked at me kind of crazy. I hope they didn't think I was on the other side. I'm on the side of probably trying to save this democracy. You can't save it without saving the Democratic Party, and it's almost like they can't get out of their way. Nobody has stepped up, and me and Glass talk about this all the time. Nobody has stepped up. Nobody has done anything. They talk, they talk, they talk, and they talk. You know what? let me. Okay, maybe you can barely hear me. Can you hear me now? I'm going up in voice. Sean, thank you for letting me know that. Because now I have to cut up my voice and talk a little bit louder. I hope you can hear me. I hope we cut down the background noise. We got a lot of background noise because Byron Glass was in his car, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. He tried to tell me 3 times, and now he told me I'm good. But most of the background noise was coming from Byron because he was riding in his car, and I really appreciate you because, man, I didn't know. We didn't know. And now that I cut up my volume a little bit and we kind of get situated, because sometimes when I go on, I test my mic through another program. But if Byron's riding in the car, the echo comes by. But as I said, we continue to do this show the best way we can because everybody volunteers. And I want to say Pastor Riggins is not here today because he had a prior engagement. But the point that I want to make, and I want to make it very clear, that flag that was up was the Southern flag. And that's what I feel like we conceded in the Democratic Party. Have we just got to a point where we're just going to roll into the election cycle and not really have anybody there supporting us? Are we just going to do what we normally do? They're going to make plans. The group of them going to make plans behind the door and tell us that either you vote for this person or you vote. If you choose not to vote, You vote, that's an automatic vote for the other person that's out there. And I can't, it's no way in the world that I can go with that. We can't continue to do that. That's the reason why we're where we're at right now, because you have to have options. You have to put the options out there and let people choose who they want to vote for. You may not like it. You may not like what's out there, but you should participate. You should participate. And in this midterms that's coming up, this is the most important time in history, because if we lose the House and the Senate this time, we're not getting it back. We're not getting it back. Everybody that you engage with, anybody, anywhere that you go, where there's a large group of people, where there's any amount of people, and I don't care. And people say, well, you shouldn't talk about it at the table with family members, because you're gonna get in, you're gonna start some stuff. I don't care where you at. If they're Republican or Democrat, tell them to go out and vote. Tell them to go out and vote and let their message, let their voice be heard. Because that's we're going down a dangerous strait right now. Trump has us heading straight downhill. He has us going down this hill that people voted for him are not even on his side right now. People that voted for him to put him in office, to give him that seat, wondering what that was. I just wasted my time. And you heard me earlier, he's an embarrassment. I served in this service. A lot of people that I know served in the service. And as we served because we were proud of America. They gave us a sense of pride. When you put on that green uniform, blue uniform, I was in the Army, so I'm a little biased in that situation. But whatever uniform that you put on, that white uniform, sailors, you were proud of the country that you served. You served your commander-in-chief. This is a hard task for anybody, because we don't have a commander-in-chief. We got somebody that's out there acting like they running what was that show that he did? He acting like he running that pageant show or something. You can't talk to world leaders like that. You have to have some reserve. And the other part of this is that if we don't get to a point where we're moving in a direction early, because you want them to play all their cards early. Look at Hillary. I'm going to give you a good example, Hillary, and then I'm going to kind of get into the show where we're going. But look at Hillary. The last 2 weeks, they come up with emails. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I need you to realize how many Democratic presidents did we go through that we went through the Epstein files? None of them. They had it. But we've been taking the high road. We've been taking the high road. They knew the same information that was out there then is out there now. Do you think if somebody would have came out and just said, you know what? Hey, we're going to break out the Epstein files right now, right before the election, that might have changed it. But no, you can't continue to take the high road when you got somebody that's taking the low road every single chance that they get. And I'm going to go back to this world thing, and then I got to go somewhere else. Because this world thing, I'm going to tell you, I can guarantee you, and I made this statement off the air, I bet you Trump couldn't tell you one country that borders Russia, borders around Russia, other than Ukraine. And that was only because they was talking about it at the time. Because the president of Finland had played golf with him, and you can go see the interview. Trump didn't even know the man that was sitting directly in front of him that he had played golf with. Finland, the guy from Finland told him, say, look, we got 700 miles of border with Russia. And if you don't do anything to resolve this Ukraine situation, we're the ones that's over there. We're the ones that's closest to Russia. You're across the pond, is basically what he was saying, and Trump still didn't understand that. He still wants to pursue this great relationship with Putin, but Putin is so much smarter than Trump is. So much smarter than Trump is. And Sean, in the absence of a direction, what can we do in preparation for? We need to be telling our people, we need to be informing our people, we need to, the people that we knew that said that they wasn't going to vote in the last election because they didn't feel like they was it made a difference. If you hear somebody say that, say, don't ever fall into that trap. That's a trap, because you can't have a voice. Even if you go in a barber shop or a beauty shop and you sit there and you listen to people talk, the first question out of your mouth, did you vote? We have to get people out to vote. We have to motivate those people to continue to go out and vote. And the real reason why we're on this early is because I don't see anybody else out there. I see people, other media's telling people about the vote, but I don't hear the people that are in elected offices talking about voting. Their message should be on point at this time, Sean, saying, vote, we need you to get out and vote. Midterm elections are coming up. Find out who your people are. Because I'm going to tell you, come 2020, come when we run for the presidential candidate, there's going to be so many people coming out of the woodwork that think that they deserve your vote. But they looking over these midterm elections. And then it's really not going to matter then. Because the Republicans are going to be so far ahead. Am I as obsessed with it, Sean? I am. I have to be. I try to vote independent, but as you remember, in the state of Louisiana, they basically narrowed it down to two parties. And as Byron was talking about the maps, redistricting of the maps, what kind of sense is it gonna make if you listen to people and they redistrict the maps in Texas in their favor, and then another state start redistricting the map? Sean, I have to answer your question. How do we get a bigger microphone? We need to challenge the people that's running for those offices. We need to challenge those congressmen and those senates. We need to challenge anybody that puts their hat that's currently sitting in the seat. We need to change their messaging. We're trying to do the best that we can with what we got. I listen to Urban View sometime on satellite radio. Their messaging is most of the time on point. They're trying to get the message out there. But it can't come from us. It has to come from the people that we elect in office, and they act like they can't do what's needed to get this country to a point where they can go forward. Sean, I agree with you. How do we get a bigger megaphone? When we was on here earlier, when we first got back started with this, we had a group that came on, Melanie Salisbury group, and they was trying to get people to get out and vote even then. Because in Louisiana, and the real reason why I stick with Louisiana and Texas, because it seems like that's where everything initiates that changes the whole demographics of what's going on. Look at what's going on today. I mean, the Democrats left Texas, but we knew they was coming back. So they held it up for 2 or 3 days. Sean, I know you're out there, so if you can answer me this, have you physically or have you heard anybody that's in an elected office asking you to help organize votes? If you have, I'm not going to even ask you where. I just want to know if you heard it, because I haven't. And me and Byron Glass and Pastor Riggins and everybody that we talked to, they still have not heard it. And that's the reason why we're so scared about these. Not scared, but we're concerned. Let me use that word, concerned about these midterm elections that's coming up. Because if you don't get started early, you know the fallout. You know what's happened in the Democratic Party, how we got here. They're going to bring up all of that. Mary, you're right. Mary, you're right. They left for 2 weeks. And you know what they did, what they're going to do, what they're going to do When they show back up, they're going to still have that election. They're going to still have that election. They still the minority in the House here in Texas. Even though they left for 2 weeks, Governor Abbott is sitting in his wheelchair just saying, hey, you can go for 4 weeks. We don't care, but we're going to penalize you. We're going to have officers sitting outside your house. And as the lady said, they wouldn't even let her sign. They wouldn't even let her leave the place where she was. She may be still stuck in the Capitol in Texas. She could be still stuck there. Mary, you're right. They left for 2 weeks, but they only left for 2 weeks to actually come back and have the maps redrawn. That's all. We got Byron Glass back in the house. Mary, I'm looking at your other question. If you got any questions, let me just say this. If you got any questions and you listening to us, however you listening to us, if you're listening to us on YouTube, wherever you start to make comments, it comes into our area, and we can do that. The other states are pulling together. You're absolutely right. Glass, I don't want to neglect you because I see you out there. So when you get ready to come in, let me know.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm just continuing where I left off, man. I think you've been, hitting, the high points. For whatever reason, I still hear a little back noise on myself. I don't know what it is.
Sean texted me earlier that he couldn't hear us. And one of the questions that Sean asked us, Glass, and I want you to address this since you didn't get a chance to address it. Sean asked, how did we get a bigger microphone to go out and engage with the people? And here's what I say. We shouldn't be the ones with the bigger microphone to engage with the people. The people that you elected in the office should be the ones that's engaging with you right now, but you don't have that. So, Glass, I'm gonna let you take it from there. I just want to give you my response and how I handle it.
I think you saying exactly what I would have said. It's not the microphone; it's the people with the microphone. They're not doing their job. They're not doing a good enough job to entice the electorate. Again, they're still talking about the same stuff that they were talking about 2 or 3 years. If you look at AOC, you look at Bernie Sanders, you look at some of those folk that are coming out now telling you the reason why the Democrats lost, the reason why Harris did what she did, the reason she chose to go one route versus the other route. If you look at David Axelrod, who was Obama's right-hand guy, all those people are saying the same thing. But the problem is those who are elected, Ron. I can't say we because we're not a part of the party. We left, the party left us. In other words, we didn't lead the party. But at the end of the day, we got some defunct people that's out there. And again, if anybody don't know about redistricting, I would suggest that you go out and you read it, because what you do is you specifically target certain areas that gives you a larger percentage of the population. How do I know this? Because I personally dealt with redistricting. I've dealt with it for the 30-something years that I've been elected, and I specifically had to draw districts that allowed me to cherry pick and go and get enough people that would keep my percentages outside or within the plus or minus when it comes to the percentage that you have to have. So again, Ron, when you look at the redistricting, you look at the new laws that are taking effect, that you got to have this real ID. You got to show proof of this. You got to show proof of that. The majority of people that look like you and I, not the majority, but too many of them don't have that appropriate information. So if they don't have that information, guess what? When they go and try to vote, they're not going to be able to vote. It's going to be too late. They're telling you now to look at your voter registration, especially here in Louisiana. You're either Democrat, Republican, or no party. I've been independent for the last 8 or 10 years. So now I got to go and check my status. Well, I have a problem with that because I don't want to be a part of either one of them at this point. But now I closely align with one party versus the other. But the party that I align with, they're not doing the things that I feel like they should. One of them is, if you get in a boxing ring, you don't sit there and take punches, you punch back. They're not doing that. If you got a message that needs to be heard, people are not giving you that message. So when you look at what's being done versus what's not being done, it's clear and convincing that the party that we align with, Ron, so to speak, their microphone is either on mute or they're just not using it, because all of this stuff that's going on, you should hear some pushback. Now, I watch MSNBC. I flip to Fox News. I watch CNN. I watch ABC. And the microphone that's the loudest, Ron, which I do not understand, is you got one man that's louder than the entire party. Where's Chuck Schumer at? Where's Hakeem Jeffries at? Where's Dick Durbin? Where's James Clyburn? Where is Cory Booker? The list can go on. You don't even hear Maxine Waters saying a whole lot. Jasmine Crockett is saying some things, but hey, they're calling her, something that's not even beneficial, advantageous to mention tonight. But at the end of the day, to answer Sean's question, in my opinion, is that it's not the microphone, it's the people that's holding it.
Glass, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to expose some stuff here. Maybe this is what they're thinking about. They're taking the history and thinking that, it's been this way ever since, the president's in the office, come midterm elections, they're going to hold him accountable for everything that he's done up until that point, and it's going to automatically happen. It's on automatic. And I give you, I want to phrase this with some. I want to share some information. 1994, after Clinton's 1992 win, Democrats got crushed due to the backlash. 2018, after Trump's 2016, Democrats won big by opposing Trump. In 2022, after Biden's 2020 win, Democrats outperformed expectations by running on abortion and democracy. 2026 could follow the 2018 playbook if the Democrats weaponize discontent against Trump effectively. Now, this is what we're telling you. We're not just putting this out there so you will understand. But if you're so neutral in your position, if you're so, I want to use another word, but if you're so particular about how you present yourself, you may not be my candidate. You may not be my candidate because I want you to get out there and I want you to get on the air just like Trump did. I want you to get out there and challenge him every time that he's out there doing something different or something that you know in your mind that's not right. You need to challenge him. He did that to every single Democrat that came on the air, and he wasn't even in office. He was a convicted criminal, and he, from day one, from the time he got into office, he had a mission that he was trying to do, and he accomplished it. If you don't get nothing else, he hogs the media, and he's a media hound, and he's good at doing that. And somebody within the party has to be good at doing that. And Byron Glass mentioned Jasmine Crockett. Well, you got her own party selling her out. See, that's the thing about politics. They don't they don't understand what you're doing, but when they hear you step out of the box, they quick to put you back in there. Go ahead, Glass. I know I'm rambling.
No, Ron. I think you're hitting it. Republicans often defend partisan redistricting as something that is inconsequential, just as natural part of politics. These assertions ignore the negative consequences that redistricting has on distinct communities and everyday Americans by undermining fair representation. Republican gerrymandering strikes at the heart of representative democracy. Until we succeed in reining in the worst abuses of partisan gerrymandering, which is what's going on now, communities will be split apart, voices will be silenced, and we will not be living up to the highest ideals we claim to cherish at America. See, because redistricting, Ron, it's the original intent was to give voices to the people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, but when you are dividing the electorate, what you're doing is you're giving one voice that's louder than the other, and you are intentionally targeting that voice to speak on your behalf. So let's look at that. So if you take the state of Louisiana, which the population growth has exceeded a certain number, but then you create gerrymandering that does not reflect the population of the actual state, then where's your voice? Your voice has been diminished. It has been divided. So when they tell you that your SNAP benefits can no longer go out and buy some of the things that you used to buy or that you used to purchasing, and then you wonder why going to vote is not important, when you're no longer able to do that, that's what happens. When you look at certain geographical areas run in local elections, when you look and you see more of others and less of yourself, then you can wonder why gerrymandering is important. So what I'm saying is, you got to get in the game from the beginning. You can't get in the game run once this has taken effect and the impact is being inflicted on the voting populace, because at the end of the day, that's how things wane into the wind. And then you look back at history and you wonder why. You're saying to yourself now, is history really being repeated? Even if it's not in the same form that it was in the 60s and 50s and the 40s. If the mentality is the same, all it does, Ron, it creates you to live in the same errors that you have said, or you should have said, that you refuse to live in. So redistricting is very much important. I think the people that may listen to this podcast or whatever podcast they choose to listen to, I think they should get involved. I think most people now should go and look at it this way, Ron. If they know that a certain percentage is not going to go and look at their voter registration, well, if I knew that 1,000 people weren't going to go, not me personally, but just speaking in general, and I knew that 1,000 could tip the percentages over from a Democratic state, blue state, to a red state, then I'm going to put that down, because I already know that the people are not going to go and fact check. So when you have a red district that's drawn, the voice is gone, Ron. The legislation is going to do exactly what it's intended. Project 2025 was talked about immensely on this Two Gents podcast. Well, now you're seeing the effects, the impact of Project 2025. And if you look at it, if these redistrict areas are drawn, well, Ron, what happens is this: the worst case scenario is typically presidents serve 2 terms and they out. If it stays this way, redistricting takes effect, starts to root it. What voice is there that prevents them from changing? It said that this man can run for a 3rd term, a 4th term, or anybody else. So if you think it's not important, then this probably is not the show to enlighten and inform you.
You know what, Glass? I'll put it to you like this. Mary, we've been posting all your comments and everything. I hope everybody's paying attention. Mary is one of our people that get involved in the show all the time. But Glass, I'll put it to you like this. And as I listen to you talk, sometimes it seems like we're reliving history that we didn't already talked about. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it seems like we having the same old conversation over and over and over. And sometimes when you and Byron Glass can attest to this, sometimes when you go back to other podcasters out there, they take what you just said and they transcribe it and they do whatever they're gonna do, but they forget the key point that we need our politicians to be a microphone, as Sean said earlier. We need them to be a microphone. They wasn't put in office just to get reelected over and over and over and over and over and over. And a lot of people hear us talking, but Byron Glass has ran for 34 years. You know what he told me? He said, Ron, he said, I'm tired. He said, I can't identify with him. And I'm saying, Glass, keep running. He said, no. He said, because I done got to that point where I need to do something else. He said, I can't identify. I'm going to let him talk for himself, but I just need to let you know how serious this is. What point where we are in history, because other than that, we might as well just throw in the towel. And that's the reason why I brought up that flag. Why are we gonna fight for removing all this stuff around the country if we ain't gonna get out and vote ourselves? Why are we asking people to do stuff that we're not willing to do? This man has came back and started renaming everything else. What do you think he's gonna do after the midterm elections if the Republicans are in office? All that stuff, all that work that the Democrats did for all those years to get to a certain point is going to be thrown out. And you ask, and people are not getting the correct message because they're too concerned about the message that they want to deliver for themselves. We already know that Jasmine Crockett has lost her seat to redistricting. She's going to run for the Senate. I hope she does. But I hope that in running, that her first message that she's trying to send out is we need to get everybody out to vote. We need to get people out to vote. We need to get people out to vote. And you're going to hear me saying that, and I'm going to keep on saying it because I've lived through this. Our forefathers went through the same process. Somehow as we progress, we digress at the same time. We stopped realizing that our vote counts for something. And I'm gonna, since Glass not there, I'm gonna kind of deviate, and then I'm gonna go we're gonna go another direction. Here's something I want to tell you. They talk about this AI. They talk about all these GPTs out there, Chat GPT, Note GPT, and all the rest of that. And what's going on in the world. Well, here's something I want to tell you. If you're not putting into that AI, if we're not physically as people putting into that AI, we're not gonna be present. We're gonna be left behind trying to play catch up in the future. So if we're sitting here, you need to understand what AI can write you out. You got people like Elon Musk out there that's in control of the data. And, I was using Glass. I kind of skipped a little bit because I need to let them know how important this AI is. Because if you don't get your history in there as a people, you're going to be left out. Just like they hid the other history, we need to start paying attention to what's going on because our kids won't have a history to go into. And I didn't mean to change the subject, but it's all relative to what's going on right now. It's all relative.
But Ron, we go from A to Z. And what you just said, the most classic, most recent example is they are going through the entire Smithsonian Museum.
Yes,
and
sir.
As a result of going through the entire analysis, they're going to tell you what history existed and what history did not exist. So it's kind of like, Ron, what we've always said. They are going to distort the message and they're going to divide the people. So it does not take a rocket scientist to look at what this man is specifically telling you what he's going to do. So if I'm telling you that I'm going to take your food away, and you know that you got to have food and water to eat, why wouldn't you fight for that? And the food and water that I'm kind of juxtaposing, trying to place side by side with the analogy that I'm making, is that, Ron, if you don't know what your history is, you are damn sure to repeat it. Okay. So the 60s is only been 40, 60, 65 years ago. So our sisters, maybe even you, Ron, our sisters, our uncles, they went through the very thing that we're trying to talk about to prevent. They went through segregated schools. They went through riding on the back of the bus, drinking out of separate water fountains. They witnessed boy get off the side of this concrete.
They witnessed the boy Alil being spit in the face and couldn't defend themselves. They witnessed water hoses being sprayed, German shepherds jumping on them and biting, being beaten with batons, churches being burned. Man, the list goes on and on and on. So if a person is lazy enough to sit on their rear end, then run, like they said, sometimes you get what you deserve. But rest assured, there are going to be many who have subscribed to the notion that they refuse to go through what their forefathers went through.
And you know what, Glass, you're absolutely right. It's going to be many, but here's the deal. And I like to tie it back to what's going on right now, because I said it earlier and maybe somebody didn't get it or hear me, but I need you to understand that Hispanics have voted for Trump, and they found out they voted against their best interests. Because what they're doing to Hispanics right now, what do you think they're going to do to anybody else that's down the road as you continue to listen? You listen to them all the time. Come on the air and they say, oh, I voted for Trump. I went out of my way and I voted for Trump. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. But when the tables turn, who do they want to come up and get on their side? Who do they expect to come up? But when it was on the opposite side, when we needed help, where were we, Glass? Where were we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where were we? Nobody, everybody identified with what we went through in our history, and Glass gave you a time period. And I was born in 1961. Mm-hmm. The people that before my generation, my mother, father, my grandfather, and everybody. I remember going to town with my grandfather when he was still alive, riding on the back of a pickup truck down to Newton, Texas. And we couldn't go on the other side of the sidewalk. We had to walk on this side of the sidewalk. Those kind of things exist. When you see it as a child, you can identify with it. But think about the people that was participating in it, had to live in that situation. And then you ask, why is the vote important? That's the reason why a vote is important. That's the reason why we're trying to get you out early. In numbers, we're trying to get everybody to, as Sean said earlier, everybody to be a microphone. Not just us, because we ain't gonna reach everybody. But we need everybody to be a microphone. And challenge, don't challenge to a point where you getting in an argument, but challenge to the point of that what I want you to do is go vote. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for, I'm not gonna tell you where to vote. I'm just gonna tell you, please vote.
Get involved. Get involved.
Yeah.
Ron,
on, Sean. I'm coming. Go ahead, Glass.
Ron, you look where it talk about Home Depot says that it would raise some prices because of the tariff. You look at Walmart says that, it's closing maybe 1,000 stores. But for some reason, people are still believing, even you were taught in 101 economics, that a tariff is going to be assigned to the person. I think Sean can validate this. There are products that are typically purchased from China. Now all of a sudden, it's hard to purchase something that typically would cost $300, $400, $500. It's $1,200 or $1,500 now. So the question is, how can you pass that on to the consumers, Ron, when the consumer paycheck is still the same? And so if you're making $300 and you living right now, and you're able to buy $200 worth of stuff, but now the $200 worth of stuff is $400, $500, and $600, but your check is still the same. How are you gonna make it? Tell me how you're gonna vote for this person that's putting a dagger or stabbing you in the back and killing the very thing that's allowing you to survive. I just don't get it, Ron. Cultish or whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, we're talking about, tariff. We're talking about redistricting. We're talking about getting out the vote. We're talking about why you should be involved in the process. Now, we're not telling you who you should vote for. We're not telling you what party you should be in. All we're doing is trying to provide some statistical or some factual information that would allow you to become a little more enlightened and a little more informed, so you can go out, run, and make a conscious decision.
Absolutely. And Sean, I see your comment down there. They didn't see themselves as black. They thought they were exempt. Come on now. Sean, when I read that, it kind of resonated. It resonated so much that it kind of left me for a loss of words. You seen what I did, didn't you? I pointed at it while Glass was talking, because Glass is one of them that when he talks, if you're not willing to listen, you're not going to learn anything. And when you stop learning, there's a problem. When you stop being willing to learn, Glass called out 2 or 3 different places where you can go get your information from. And if you're going to hear me say this, if you can't do anything else, type into Google, use Google. You don't have to be computer literate to type in Google and find out what's going on. Type in your question and then hit that button to say enter at the end of it. Look at what comes up and pick out where you want to go with it. Because if you don't do that, and you sit there and you listen to what they say, I'm gonna say it like this, and I say it, and I'm gonna continue to say this just as much as Glass say. His other thing, it's over. But I'm gonna tell you, they got you doing this. Look at here, look at here, look over here, look over here, look over here. Don't look over here. Don't look there. And that's the way that we operate in America. As long as they can put it on that thing in the TV, and they can tell you the news at 6, 5, 6, and 7, then they can bring it into Good Morning America, and that's the gospel. But if you go out and do your own research, sometime after 7:30, when the last news go off, go out there and Google some of the stuff that they say. Make notes while you're watching the news, and go back and Google what they're saying, and find yourself a position that you can make a decision yourself. So when you go out there, you're not talking, as they say, out the side of your neck. You're talking from stuff that you didn't research. You're a confident person out there. They just can't come at you any kind of way. That's what we're trying to encourage here.
You know, Ron, I was when we had to go, out of town today, and I happened to run into a gentleman, and of course, I knew he wasn't American, and we talked, and I say, "Sir, what's your nationality?" He said, "Arab." I said, "Palestinian?" He said, "Yeah." Man, I gave him the biggest piece of doubt that I could. So I got to talking to him about, what's going on in Palestine, this, that, and other. And he said, "My brother," he said, "how do you know all of this?" I said, "Because I choose to know it." I said, "The same thing that the Palestinians are going through, the American Negro is going through the same thing." So he started telling me, some of the stuff that's going on. He and his wife, they had to flee. He said, "Man, if I was still over there now," he said, "I'd probably been what do you call one of those, not transportation camp, but whatever you call those camps." So we got to talking. It's fun. Well, it's not funny. It's a shame that 75% of the truth we have been blind to. 75% of the truth, like you was talking about earlier, when Dick Gregory always set away from everybody else because he wants to be on his own. He wants to go down his own path. See, when you're out there a lone wolf and you teaching and preaching something that the majority is not talking about, they look at you like you're crazy. But like you said, what Dick said is happening now. What the Bible told you is happening now. What we said, Ron, 10, 11, 12 years ago when we were doing the podcast, and wasn't too many people even doing podcasts. We was on Blog Talk USA, Blog Talk Radio, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hey, we were ahead of the game. We wasn't getting paid then. We're not getting paid now. We were volunteering then. We're volunteering now. we give up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a week to do research, to try to find topics that we feel like would be enticing enough that we can inform people on. And we know for a fact that redistricting is something that every kid that's 18 years of age should be privy to. Every kid that's 18 years of age, they should be given some information to understand why this is important. Why should you go out and cast your vote? Why should you get involved in the electoral process? Because what you have heard us talk about, as far as privileges and freedom, they ain't too far away from being taken away.
If they're not already gone. You know, Glass, I listen to you, and sometimes you got to take people back to the basics. My grandson, I went to pick him up today, and he asked me, he said, Granddad, he said, what do you do on your podcast? And I broke it down and I explained to him. I said, but the point that I was trying to drive home to him, I'm trying to leave this world a better place. So when you get of age, you're not going back in history. You don't have to repeat what I done already did. You don't have to repeat what your grandmother and grandfather and everybody else went through. You don't have to repeat that. But if I don't stand up now, if we don't pull together and stand up now, Mary, I see your thing out there, but I'm tying back to what you're saying. If we don't have leaders that's in place that can pull us together and get representation, it's something wrong. And here, Glass, I want to make this point because I don't think people understand this. Maybe y'all didn't hear Pastor Riggins the other night. Maybe y'all didn't hear him, but he said he started the NAACP in a college that him and Byron went to. He had to get 50 signatures, and he ran around campus till he got it. But when he got it, he didn't feel like he was a person to carry it on. And sometimes you need to lay that load on somebody else and let them carry it on. But it's a portion of him right now that's coming on these airways, sacrificing time, and he's been doing it for years. And he's still part of the narrative of helping us to move on. And Byron Glass, and he said Byron Glass and a group of them picked it up and ran with it. Sometimes you just have to pack the water, and we're packing the water right now. We're packing the water to get it to a point where people can understand. And you have to break it down to the simplest form to get it there. Because if you listen to people like Trump, you're lost. Hey, Mary, let me do this because we're starting to have a bunch of comments come in. I'm gonna get your comments out. We got to assemble and get together with others. We have to work together, challenge each other. I agree with you, Mary. And go ahead, Byron.
Well, see, great comment that she's making. But just ask yourself, for 100 years, we've been talking about assembling, getting together, working with each other, challenging each other. Well, if you take 10 of us and put us together to try to move forward, what's going to typically happen? Somebody's going to get upset that they wasn't appointed the leader. Somebody's going to get upset because their opinion was not the one that was put out the forefront. So, what I say is, instead of saying that we got to do it, how about I got to do it? How about I get out there and run for something? How about I get out there and get involved, get on a parent-teacher conference? How about I become a part of the union? How about I become a part of the voice for the community? How about I go to the local police jury meeting, city council meeting, school board meeting, anybody that's got a kid in school? Shame on you if you don't go to at least 1 or 2 meetings a year. And Ron, I've been sitting there for a long time, homeboy, and I ain't seen but 2 or 3 people in the 30-some years that look like me that come to meetings. Those are facts. Hey, Ron,
you can go research that fact if you want to. He's been there for a long time.
And look,
I know 10 of the years 10 to 15 years that he's been there.
Hey, Ron,
already.
That ain't what somebody told me. That's what I've seen. That's what I've tried to go out and get people to come. Tell them why they should come. Well, the way my philosophy has gone is this: you may not do your part, but I can promise you, I'm gonna do my part. So when I come home at night like tonight, Ryan, I'm gonna be able to lay my head down knowing that I did the best that I could with the ability that God gave me for today.
So Byron, let me share something with you. I'm about to post some comments,
Go ahead.
and one of the things that we don't do on this airways is, as long as we've been on here, we never ran away from whatever kind of comments that you put out there. In Liberty Twitter, I'm putting it out there. Byron, take a look at this.
But we've seen that the
put every
liberal,
one of them that you put out there.
yeah, but we've seen that the liberal way is the wrong way. That's why we're in this mess. Crime is because of liberalism. Poverty is because of liberalism. We're done with that. It's time to consider other solutions. I think if Liberty was listening, we're not saying liberal or conservative. What we're saying is that both parties are not doing, and I don't understand the term liberalism. You know, people, and I won't challenge that, and I'll take it for what it's worth. But I think he's what he's saying. Yes. So what is the right way? Tell us what the right way is. Tell us what you're doing to make it right.
Yeah, and I agree with Byron, because we're not telling you what to do. We're putting out information and letting you decide for yourself. So if that's the way that you feel,
And Ron, I guess my other question is, and I agree, it's time to consider other solutions. 100%. We're done with that. I'd like to know who is that we. Who that we is.
No. And you think I'm gonna run from your comments? I'm not running from your comments.
Defend
but I will
the police.
tell you this. Byron, let me just say this.
Well, Ron, hold on. Let me see. Defund the police. Now, I can tell you that that's 100% inbred ignorance. Nobody never said defund the police. What people did say is that because you have mental health issues, that some of the money that's going out there that's not preventing black people from getting their ass beat, that maybe some of that money should be put off into mental health so people can understand what mental health actually is. And that sometimes when a person is doing something, it has nothing to do with criminal behavior. It has something to do with mental behavior. So that defund the police, that's bullshit. Ain't nobody that I know has never said defund the police, take money away from the police. We support good police. We support police in the community. We support protecting and serving. So that defund the police, you can take that shit over to Roland Martin or somewhere else, because it don't work here.
Let me just say this, and I want to be clear when I say this. Look at my name is Ron Spikes. His name is Byron Glass. Look at your identity out there. You coming on the show, but you're afraid to show your identity. You're afraid to tell who you are, but you want to make those comments and you want to get us steered in a direction that we shouldn't really be going. But here's the difference, sir. In that sandbox, if it's only one person in there, it don't matter if you defund the police. That person's going to be in charge. It don't matter. So we need to have two parties. We need to have opposites, somebody on the opposite end. However it works, we need to have somebody on the opposite end. If you want to come into our show, we welcome you. We even got a telephone number that we'll put up, and we'll hear your voice. Even if you don't want to do that, you can call in and won't nobody ever see your face. But don't hide and throw stones and then challenge us on issues that's not even happening. Nobody wanted to defund the police. What they wanted to do was stop the police from being able to crack people across their head and not have any repercussions, because some of those people that was out there, they wasn't criminals. They just got pulled over because they were a different color in a neighborhood that they shouldn't have been. So don't sit there and say defund the police. That's not what we said. I'm coming back to you, Liberty. We ain't gonna run away from it.
Yeah, and again, I agree with him. She, or whoever, that other solutions should be tried, and that's what we're asking. What are those solutions? Tell us what some of those solutions are. And again, it's not attack mode or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I think everybody's entitled to defend their position, and it's not anger, it's passion coming from me. Again, I have never said that defund the police. What I will say, I think if somebody's crooked, you should get rid of them. So, hey, if that means defunding the person, then so be it. I think just because you give a person a badge, it don't make them the person that's going to be in there to protect and serve. Because good people do bad things every day. Bad people do bad things all the time. So if you got an uneducated person that's occupying this badge, then that uneducated person has got some issue. Lower scholastic status. How did that work out? Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. Again, some of this stuff, Ron, that he's saying, it's not worth.
I know.
Yeah, it's not worth the challenge. Again, if what I don't like is a coward. Okay, if you want to have a healthy discussion and a healthy debate, we can do that. But if you're going to throw out all this subliminal stuff that has nothing to do, lowering scholastic standards, Ron. Let's let him have his freedom and let him say whatever he wants to say. But again, hey, hold on, Ron. I don't like talking to AI. So, number one, liberty Twitcher with a mask of some kind. I don't even want to talk to that person. So if you want to talk to me, you show me your face, or you call in, let me hear your voice, because I would prefer it that way. I don't like to hide behind the curtain type person. Hell, we done seen enough in capes for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years.
We didn't see, and I'm gonna tell you like this. We've been doing this a long time, and I knew that when those comments start coming, that you was gonna follow up and follow up and follow up, and you're gonna try to take us off our path tonight. But our path is simple. We're trying to keep a two-party system in place because we know people like y'all don't want to see it. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I know you don't want to see it. Because of the questions that you're putting out there, the narratives that you're expecting us to pursue. We're not going to pursue them, but I'm not going to let you get away with it because we're going to continue going down the line because we have people out there to listen to us.
You old people keep telling us that we need to vote. No, again, that's 100% ignorant, man. You're acting stupid because how do you know we're old? You don't even know our age. Number one, and nobody have told you to vote liberal. We said vote. So from this point on, I'm not going to address any question because you're not constructive. You're ignorant to the fact, and you need to go and play with some kids somewhere because this is an adult conversation. Ron, I'm not going to even entertain the ignorance that's coming from the foolish person that's out there. See, that's that type of monkey mentality.
How much time, Glass, I'm going to stop you right there. How much time have we spent on this guy?
Too much.
Probably about 10 or 15 minutes,
Too
right?
much. Too much.
Yeah. And people like you, the only thing I'm gonna ask you in the future, just show us who you are, call the show, and we'll have a decent conversation. But if you
see, Ron, at this point, I wouldn't even want to know who he or she is, because I already know they're a coward.
Thank you. I'm done. I got you, Glass. Okay, we're gonna continue our comments. I'm not going to ever run from anybody that's got a comment. I'm not going to ever run from anybody that makes good sense. But to defund the police, who you going to call if something go wrong? You asking people to defund the source that they're going to call when something goes wrong. That don't make no sense. That's just a talking point that you heard on another show that probably couldn't follow you. You couldn't follow. But you bring it to our show and you act like.
Hey Ron, if you can, if you can mute this because he's not constructive, we can eliminate this person because there are some people out there like Miss Guillory that that provides constructive information. Again. The person is ill-educated because they're making outlandish comments and making judgmental statements that they have no clue. What we can tell is that it's obviously a juvenile or a person with juvenile mentality. So we're trying to enlighten and inform, and you can't enlighten and inform a fool until they get ready. So let's move on.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. Ms. Guillory, in every town, city council, I guess that's what she was trying to say. It may take more than 100 years. We can't fall asleep. Ms. Guillory, I agree with you. We can't fall asleep on anything. That's the reason why we're doing this right now. And we're trying to get people to engage. If you know somebody that's out there, get them to engage. We're not telling people how to vote, because whatever you do behind that booth is something that you choose to do. I get tired of people saying, do this, do this, do this, do that. No, don't do this and do that. Do whatever you've done the research to get there. Glad
You know,
somebody gave you a comment, man.
you know, Ron, it's sad that some people will listen to the enemy and befriend it more so than follow those who can really enlighten. Again, we're not interested in wasting time and energy on ignorance. Again, and I should have never even engaged, because when you can't show your face or something to that effect, we already know what cowards do. They hide behind capes. We already know that people that have no substance, they're not going to be a part of the process. They're going to become a keyboard warrior or whatever the case may be. Tonight, we're talking about redistricting. We're talking about the tariffs. We're going from A to Z. If you're out there and you want to call in, you can. 832, I forget what the number is.
Put it up right quick.
Ron, 832-856-5964. I'm receiving some text in the background. We're talking.
I'm gonna let you handle them glasses. Go ahead and read them, and then we're gonna.
Well, I can't.
I want to go.
I
back
can't even see them, Ron.
Huh?
I can't even see them now.
Oh, you can't see them?
Mm-mm.
You talking about this?
I can see that. That's the only one that's up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mary Brown sent Guillory. Mary Brown Guillory.
Yeah, we are here to help our cause. Yeah, proceed.
I think Glasson already showed you the door. If you can't ask better questions than that, I'm sorry. This may not be the show for you. Maybe you need to call somebody on a national media show,
again,
so they can put you on
Ron,
hold and you can do whatever you want to do.
But again, Ron, not mean to cut you off, because see, I don't like people to leave that don't have the correct information. We're not telling anybody to leave. What we're saying is that the conversation has to be substance. I think we all agree that other solutions should be tried. I think we have engaged people in various points of views, because we are not Democrats, we are not Republicans. So we get a chance to call everybody. But when you come in, it's no way that you can allow your daughter to date somebody that's hiding behind the curtain. There's no way that you can allow your son to date the woman when she hiding behind the curtain. What I'm saying is let's all be real. I know that we're living in this world where everybody want to create themselves as AI, but you're dealing with the real people here. Ron, we can stand up. If we fat, we fat. If we skinny, we skinny. But we can show you all of us. So what we're saying is we're trying to have an authentic conversation that allows people to go out and make their own conscious decision. Again, liberty twist, liberal, whatever. We love people to be engaged, but engage in the right orderly fashion. And I'm glad that you call us old, which we're not. But I can tell you this: and nowadays, you'll wish that you'll get our age, because they down your age, homeboy.
Because you know what? If we keep going down this road that we're in, you may never see our age. You may not even get there. And what Byron is saying, this is true. You may not get there. So don't think that I'm not proud of these gray hairs. But what I'm trying to do is share some knowledge with you that was passed on to me from people that shared the same knowledge to me. Just like I was sharing with my grandson today. We're gonna share with our kids that we want them to know that we're fighting for them. And if I don't save nobody but my own, I'm doing my job. I did my job. Because when that headstone is laid, they're gonna say, Granddaddy, Pawpaw, whatever, he came on the air. He told us what was going on, and he told us to make our own decision. Because if you're not willing to stand up for your own, you're in a sad place. You're in a sad place. Mary, I'm getting to all the rest of your comments. We are uniting to take ourselves seriously. We're serious, Mary. And you've been listening to us long enough to know how serious we are. We've been serious. I wish I could just go, but we have to stay engaged. We do, Mary. We do have to stay engaged. But as we engage, we have to engage in a way where we're trying to make a difference. And that's all we're asking you to do is engage and try to make a difference in a positive manner. Come on, Glass, I see you.
Well, no, Ron, just back to the redistricting. Because I'm pulling stuff. It's been a long racial and economic ideological lines. Okay, so it's also about economics. If you're trying to make sure that the rich continue to get richer, you're going to eliminate the poor. And Ron, you have said for 10, 12, 13 years since we first started podcast back, you always said that most people are only a paycheck away from poverty. And most people can't understand what you really mean. But at some point, that'll be addressed, like Pastor Riggins, break things down. But, Ron, it's sad that no matter how much good you try to do, it's always somebody trying to throw the monkey wrench. Again, I think people think because, we're two black guys talking, that we just have to be slave men Democrats. But each and every show, we always preface, we're not neither, either. We're not Democrat. We're not Republican. We're not liberal. We're not conservative. We may have a little bit more ideological lines with one versus the other, but we have the luxury of coming on and talking about Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries, James Clyburn, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Al Gore. Do I need to keep naming? Do I need to go back to Jimmy Carter's era? Do I need to go back to Bush 1, Reagan's era? Do I need to go back to Nixon, Watergate era? I mean, hey, at some point in life, Ron, we chose to pick up a book and try to learn a little bit. There go my boy AF. We try our best to do what we can. And what I don't like is for this millennial group that's out there to feel like somehow in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 years that they have been able to obtain more information that we've been able to absorb and forget about. It's one thing to come off into a group of professors as an amateur and try to teach the professor what they've been doing for 20, 30 years. I'm using these analogies, Ron, because I hope that the young, because I can't even address them as a male, a female, so give us something to go with. AF, we have a Citizen X on tonight. Of course, we've been breaking down.
Citizen X on?
Yeah.
Where he came from?
Well, it was a Ron. What was the name? Liberal Twitter twister.
We're gonna get liberal Twitcher.
Yeah, and
he found us.
Yeah, that we for defunding the police and all that other kind of bumfoolery. Again, I wish that people can understand that. Hey man, we are three independents.
Hey, look here. I see the title was has the Democrats conceded. They haven't conceded. Matter of fact, they're running an ad in Texas. The Republicans, a conservative group, is running an ad. They're saying that if the conservatives don't give the Medicaid and give the tax credits, that the Democrats could win, because see, all they need is 3 seats in the House. And with Gavin Newsom putting out the opportunity to try to flip 5 seats back in California, and this whole big thing that's going on, I believe we're going to take the House back. And then how many seats up in the Senate? 33 seats up in the Senate? Man, we haven't conceded.
Hey, Ricky.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ron. I got a message that says, "Are the messages being delayed?" I sent one over 5 minutes ago.
The only one that sent one, and we it's not delayed because it comes straight. If you went through YouTube, it comes straight to my screen. And Mary's been commenting, Liberty Twitch has been commenting, and all of the messages are coming to the screen as far as I know. Now,
someone named Raven Burden.
Yeah, I had that up there.
Not that name. Let me see. It should be Tyron. And I don't see that comment.
Yeah, I don't see it and I got a whole line of
yeah, I'm looking at it now myself.
I see something that says, hold on just a minute. I missed one.
Big T.
Okay, that'll be who it is then.
I'm sorry, and I apologize, because when we was trying to engage with this other person, your message came up and I missed it. But Glass, go ahead and handle it, please, because I want to apologize. And Pastor Riggins, I want to thank you for coming in the show.
Yes,
see,
sir. Big T.
He did his engagement and he showed up. See,
he who lives believing dies betrayed. It's up to us to get the word out. We cannot rely on our elected officials. I think that is 100% accurate, Ron. Riggins, you and I, along with Ron, have been saying that we've been dependent on people that are powerless. Our voice is as strong. But Riggins, I asked a question earlier. How is it that this one man voice is louder than an entire party?
It's the money. Dirty money. Dirty money, man. Those people know. See, that's why Rupert Murdoch, Wall Street Journal, and Fox decided to pull the plug. Because, see, you can't buy Rupert Murdoch. You can't buy him. You can buy Lindsey Graham. You can buy the guy out of Tennessee. You can buy Cotton out of Mississippi. You can buy all these guys. They've been bought.
Yeah.
And if they decide to try to go against Trump, he gonna expose them. That's why Elon Musk. Now, I don't know if some of the stuff is true or not true. You always got to check the sources. But they say Trump want Elon Musk to leave the United States because he knows that Elon Musk knows what's going on. He knows Elon Musk knows where all the dirty laundry is. And I was telling Ron that I don't know if y'all covered this on the show tonight. It might be late in the future. Why does he want to stop mail-in voting and Holland? We don't even need voting machines no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's decided, listen, by hook or crook, I want to stay in power. By hook or crook, I want to stay in power.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy, man. Look here. Trump and the European leaders don't find out what to do with him.
Yes, sir.
They said to Zelensky, we're going with you down there. And he was outnumbered. He had got with Putin, and him and Putin got together. They said some of the people in the room was shocked at what they was hearing. He never comes out with a transcript of him and Putin talk about it because he's been a bought agent since 1988. So lo and behold, he thought he would come back and try to twist Zelensky's arm, and the French Macron and all of them showed up with Zelensky and put him on blast. So now he's saying, well, we're going to help you out, but we ain't going to send no ground troops. No. What you do with Trump is you got to put numbers on him, and then his intelligence is of third grade. And I'm third grader. I mean, you know, are you smarter than a fifth grader? He ain't smarter than a third grader. He has a whole lot of stuff like shake the hand with Putin. like images. Do this, do that. Told Zelensky, wear a suit. Zelensky, I ain't wearing no suit. Give him a black shirt on. He likes all type of imagery, all type of trying to look like he's doing something, not doing anything, not worth the salt. He's damaged the offices of the damaged the office of the president of the United States.
Yes, sir.
Damaged that office.
Yes.
It'll take years to restore that. Years to restore it.
Hey, Riggins, I think you are exactly right. You know, I think we said last week that it's a sad thing to say that anybody can become president of the United States. Now they worried about the mayor in New Orleans being indicted.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about the convicted felon that's in the highest office in the land. I don't understand it.
You got Cash Patel trying to investigate the judge and the judge's daughter in that case. It's like a sham. This you couldn't even dream with this in the United States 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's a sham thing going on. Meanwhile, my understanding is if they break up the Epstein files, they're gonna do, my mama had to say, they had to put him up under the jailhouse. If those files ever come out.
Let me just put this out here. Do you think they'll impeach him if his name is on there enough? They won't.
Well, no, this will happen.
And
if the Democrats win 2026, they're going to force committee meetings or committee hearings, force the information to come out. I guarantee you, if they impeach him this time, people don't want you to mess with their children, man. That's why he's scared, because he know MAGA don't even want that. Don't mess with my little dog. Don't mess with my little girl. Be racist all you want to. Steal my money from me. Let the rich people get by, but don't mess with my children. He can mess with all other women he wanted to. Don't mess with my children.
Mm-hmm.
That's craziness. You know, because when you go to jail for messing with somebody's child, you know what happened to you.
You know what, Pastor? This is something that I think Trump is setting everything up to basically divert attention away from everything else, especially Epstein. I think that everything that we're looking at in government, I think that his talks with the people, even Putin and even the people from Europe, he's diverting the attention away from that. But I don't want the Democrats to let him go on that. Because if he was on the other side of this, he wouldn't let it go. He would be hounding it every single day. He would demand that they put it out there. That why are you redacting this? Why are you doing that? But I don't see.
We don't have the power to though, man. We don't hold either house. We're not the ones that call the shots for the committee meetings. We're not the ones that can. We don't have. That's why we got to win 2026. We've got to win 2026. I made this statement
earlier. Based on what you just said about 2026, do you think the Democrats are waiting till the midterm elections get here and they letting him make all these blunders up until that point, and then that's when they're gonna come out and say, you know what? You see what he's did. You see how he's conduct himself. That's a difficult game to play because you don't know what could be said. You don't know what could be said. What could happen in that time? Maybe it's just me.
They want the blunders.
Look at the questions, Glass.
They want the blunders. They want the blunders to cause them to lose the election. I mean, cause them the Republicans to lose the midterms. They want Trump to be the albatross around the Republicans' neck. You remember when Obama won in 2008, right?
Yeah.
And he's pushing for Obamacare, right?
Yeah.
What happened in 2010?
Oh, nothing.
Yes, what happened? The red wave, the Tea Party.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Came and drove, and so this is what they want to have. Trump, except that was based on policy. That was based on ideology stuff. Trump is based on criminal acts. And even, look at me, everything in the economy is going up. They said, Home Depot said the price is going up because of tariffs. John Deere said we're laying off people because of what's going on in the agriculture business because of Trump. Everybody getting hit in the pocketbook. The jobs, 73. How many jobs was added? 173 jobs. Oh, fight a woman, fight a woman, fight a woman. Everything going wrong because of him. It's coming. It's coming to a head. We've just got to get out there and vote. It's coming to a head. That's why he's trying to get the people to redistrict, because he already knows he's losing.
Hey Riggins, I agree with you. You know, I got what I think where I think people is failing at is that we're still dealing with a typical politician. He's atypical. So I think people got to go back to the drawing board, and because everything up till now, Mr. Spikes, it has done nothing to him but elevate. Okay. Again, you and us three are not on the inside. Okay. And you can rest assured that those in that opposing party, Riggins, they know something. They know something that's going on. Again, we got a question out here. Sean say, do you think they really care if it's not their children?
It is their, but the point of it is their children. It's Anglo-American children. It's Anglo-American girls. Now, if it was African-American girls, Hispanic girls, I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but what I mean about these are their children, rich, up to the girls, drawn in by Epstein and that woman that didn't sent down to Bryan College Station. Trump and them playing with them girls. 13, 14-year-old. Somebody even said it's two girls that they know he's exactly tied to. He knows that his name is all over that book, the files everywhere.
Well, but Riggins, I thought Bill Barr went out before the Judiciary Committee and said that, of course, we know that people lie. Again, my thing is, I don't care who on there. I want to know.
Yeah.
They can be red, blue,
yeah,
red states, blue states, rich, whatever. Yeah. If James Clyburn, let us see the list, bro. Let us make our own decision.
No, let me tell you who's on that list. Prince Andrew out of England.
Say it.
All these rich boys that hang out with Trump and them Scotland golf clubs and all that stuff, all the people tied up in that. Rich people, a lot of money. That's on that list. They never thought this was going to ever happen to them. Epstein did not commit suicide. Epstein did not commit suicide.
Here's the thing about that Epstein stuff that I covered in the show. And here's the thing that I want y'all to understand. This was one of the first cases in history where they basically took all the names that was involved in it and gave them total immunity. They gave them total immunity. They didn't give the victims immunity. They gave the list of people that was on that plane and everything total immunity. If you don't believe me, go back and look it up for yourself. They gave them total immunity. The list.
Hey, Ron.
I want y'all to understand something.
Yeah, Sean says seems it's getting traction because it is. I'm not. I think
he's saying because it is their children. Remember, I said it's their children. And so I think he's catching on to the idea that that's why it's got traction. Okay. Because it is.
I want y'all to talk for a few minutes because I'm looking for something. As soon as I find it, I'm gonna bring it up to the screen.
Yeah, it is up the upper class. Preppy little girls that they're messing with, and doesn't make any sense at all. Don't make any sense at all. In other words, Stormy Daniels was the tip of the iceberg. That was illegal, supposedly prostitution situation. It went wrong by him trying to give a hush money out of the funds that out of his campaign funds, and that's how he was a felon. But that was a legal situation. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What he's been doing all along, grabbing them by the pee, as he say. do whatever you want to do to him. Got the E. Jean Carroll up in the Saks Fifth Avenue in the dressing room doing that stuff. Just was par for the course because he's done a lot more worse things than that. Supposedly, allegedly, I can see I gotta say the word supposedly and allegedly, based on running around with Epstein.
Now, just in case y'all, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
This is a list of a guy that had the list before when they first went through Epstein. He had this list, and he couldn't get any media out there to publish the list. Look at it.
Yeah.
Pastor just say Prince Andre Gates, hedge fund billionaire, Glenn Dobbin, former New Mexico governor, Bill Richardson, former Secretary of Treasury, former president of Harvard, Larry Summers, cognitive psychologist and author Steven Pinker, Alan Duras, the billionaire, Victoria's Secret CEO Leslie Wexler, the former Barclays banker Jess Stanley, former Israel. Wait, this one is the one that you should check out. The former Israel Prime Minister. This is not Barack. I want to make sure y'all know.
Minister Odd Barack. Yeah.
Odd Barack. He was in the Israel Prime Minister. The magician David Copperfield, actor Kevin Spacey.
Remember Kevin Spacey? Remember Kevin Spacey had got in trouble for a little while for some other stuff related like this.
Convicted. Former CIA director William Burns, real estate mogul Martin Zuckerman. Woo. Former relieved in Epstein's. I don't know what.
No.
Pastor, give me the word.
Former Maine Senator George Mitchell. Remember George Mitchell got caught with something else.
Yeah,
but Riggins,
look at the top of the list. I don't want to leave his name out.
Right, but
because
Ron,
his name shows up a lot. Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton.
Let's make
Bill
sure.
Clinton Bill Clinton and before you say something, Barry, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump used to run together. See, Donald Trump was a Democrat a long time. He gave money to the Barack Obama campaign one time. He gave money to who he ran against, the young lady who he just beat. He gave money to a campaign before.
But again, gents, let's make sure we give the understanding. And I'm a challenge. See, this list means nothing to me. Okay, it means something to me, Riggins, if the people that's on this list knowingly knew that all this illicit stuff was going on with young individual people. Because see, Riggins, you and I can go and visit anybody today, and we don't know nothing about their life, nothing about their lifestyle. So just because we're on the list, that means that we did something wrong. No. What I'm saying, I'm speaking for me now. What I'm saying is I want to know who's on the list and how much they knew. If they knew that illegal things were taking place and innocent kids were being tortured, sex or whatever, I want to know that, and they should go before the judge and the jury. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And I want to know
who did what. Pastor, I'm gonna let you go, but I just want to say this. What most people don't understand, every time that you get on and off an airplane in the United States of America and anywhere that you go, they have a manifest. That manifest tells you who flew on that plane, where they were, destination, where they was going, and everything. Because if they ever crash, that's what they get the names from. So I'm just telling you, if you look at these names who came from the manifest of his airplane.
Right. But Ron, what Barron is saying is this. See, this guy was a wheeler dealer, Jeff Epstein, big real estate mogul. These people want money from him. So let's say I'm running Governor Bill Richardson or Bill Clinton. I'm running, and I want to be wining and dining by this guy so he puts some money in my campaign. Mm-hmm. I don't know what his private life is about. I don't know what he's doing with these girls. I'm dealing with him on a business level. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Trump hung out with this guy on a personal level.
Hey, Sean says, I read today that the file will get released shortly, correct? Well, what I heard was that, the files are being, the DOJ are releasing files to the Judiciary Committee, for, the investigation that, but again, if these powerful people names are on their records, these people are going to redact. They're going to redact. So when you see it as an American citizen. It's going to be watered down, just like the subpoenas that came from what was his name? Who just prosecuted? What was the guy name?
Mueller.
Yeah,
No, Jack.
Jack. I can't think his name, man. What's his name, Ron?
Who?
Jack, the special prosecutor.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Come on, man. We this just happened 6, 7, 8 months. Jack.
Let me see. Let me look it up.
Jack. What was his name, Ron?
We're gonna get it.
Lord have mercy.
Pastor looking it up.
I can't even think. Oh boy, maybe
you know me.
Hey, Ron, oh boy, may be telling the truth, saying that we old, because I can't think his name. Jack Smith.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Jack Smith.
Yeah, those just like when it came out with defendant number 1, defendant number 2, defendant number 3. Well, who is defendant 1, 2, and 3? Unless you make it an assumption.
No,
what if the list had people? I can't read that comment.
Oh, you want to see Mary says she agreed.
No.
Sean
Somebody.
said it's a redacted list.
Yeah, redacted list.
Sean also said it's. Let me see.
I see right behind that. It's saying it's big old words. It's saying, "What if the list something?"
No, somebody else saying that. Take that down, Ron. Take that down.
Take this one
Take
down.
it down, Ron. What if the list had these people? No, that's from the article.
That's from the thing that I got a copy of.
All right.
And I wasn't gonna put myself in a position that this was an authentic list, but I know where I got the source from, and I could always, and I put that on there to keep myself in a position where they can't come after me. What if this list had these people on it? That was a list that was a list where these people were on, but I didn't put myself out there.
Yeah, the manifesto of an airplane doesn't say that these people are doing this with these people.
No, they didn't identify them.
Right.
But they
And so
saying
the
that they was on the
issue is,
airplane.
let me tell y'all something else. The reason why they want to do the Judiciary Committee right now, because Republicans still in control. Because they know that they have a feeling they're gonna lose in 2026. And if the Democratic in control got the Judiciary Committee, got hold to it, there will be no redactions. Let me say this again. They're trying to get ahead of the election to try to get a redacted list out there, or redacted information out there before the election. Because if they keep mucking around, if I use that terminology, and wait until they lose, and then the Judiciary Committee ran by a Democrat, that's another whole ball of wax.
But you know what, Riggers? I disagree with that, because I think the Dems will get in, and they're going to be the same people that they have been in the past. They're going to be afraid to use the power and authority that they've always had. So I just don't have no stock in them doing nothing.
And Glass, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I don't have no stock in them, because you don't have to come out and make a statement to me talking about what if I would have did this, what if I would have did what Trump did, you don't make statements like that. You had the same power that he did, and Glass, as you say it and you repeat it over and over, you had the same power that he does. Did he miraculously just discover this power, or was
what I think he's doing is
before him enabled to do it?
I think he's abusing power, and that's why a lot of it ends up in the court. And if you pay attention quietly, a lot of stuff he done, you'll find out on Friday.
But Riggins, hold on. Let me challenge you a little bit right there. The majority of the stuff that he's doing with the pen is still happening.
Remember when he tried to take away from education? That he had to give it back.
Well, but that's simple right there.
No, but I mean, but some of the stuff, see what I'm saying is, like for instance, he want to take out all African American stuff about slavery out the Smithsonian's. They say he's going around talking, but he can't do it. So
Riggins.
Wait. I'm gonna challenge that too.
Yeah, the Kennedy Center, he's already stripped that. Okay, the Smithsonian Museum, he's dismantling that.
No,
well, hold on.
They say he went by today saying he wanted to be reviewed. But all of the lines of the museum says, even though he get all this stuff reviewed, he can't make them take it out of it. They're gonna take it.
Riggin, but what I'm saying is that the man is telling you that I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna make you tell me that I'm wrong.
Right.
But Barack had the same power and authority. That he was a constitutional law professor. He could have used a pen just like this man did. So what I'm saying is, I ain't giving neither one of them no slack.
But what I'm saying is this, though: if your heart is in the right place,
Yeah,
see,
that's a big question. That's a big
right?
question.
No,
Pastor.
can I? If all these other presidents meant well for the country, even if their ideology was different, trickle down economics, Bush, or different stuff like that, but their heart was in the right place. They never thought to use the pen like he's using it.
But here's the deal, though.
You're dealing with an evil person, man.
Yeah, here's the deal, though. In his mind, just like in yours and mine, he feel like his heart is in it. We feel that our heart is in it. It's a debatable argument. It's subjective, right? Now, I'm not saying that I agree with him. What I'm saying is that every other previous president, unless something has changed, Mr. Spice, that I hadn't seen on television, he got elected. He got the same power that the rest of them had. He just used it.
Let me ask you a question, Barrett. Let me put it back. Let's take it away from the president. Let's say it was in Colombia, right?
After you ask your question, Pastor.
Let's say it was in Colombia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a mayor. You was mayor of the city,
mm-hmm.
and you had power to do a lot of stuff, but you didn't take your power and try to use it the wrong way.
What's the wrong way?
The stuff Trump is doing, his motives are wrong. His whole ideal is based on racism. It's based on greed. It's based on a lot of stuff that we know that's the man himself was trying to do. You did everything you could for the city of Columbia, right? Somebody came behind you that was all by themselves, all about greed, all about otherisms and racism, and took the same stuff you had and then took it and tried to use it against people. That's all what Trump is doing.
But remember, Rick,
nobody had a concept of, I want to go in here and use my pen to do this to nobody. That's what I'm getting at. I understand that you said the power was there, but they didn't have the concept. Now, could you have used it for the good of a lot of things? Maybe they could have. And that's what you're saying, that why couldn't they use it?
Rick, what I'm saying is that the same things that he got elected to do and that he wanted to do, he had the same power and authority to do it. He did because he was too mediocre. He was too feminine, and he didn't want to go against the grain. What Trump is doing is saying, I'm in a boxing ring, and I'm going to start punching. And if you don't punch me back, I'm going to keep on punching. So, and to go with your analogy of this, Rick, I disagree with this side. I'm using every power that I have on this side to convince those that's listening that my ideology is better than those over there. That's what this man. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm because I don't agree. No, I'm saying
you talking about the method he's using.
Huh?
You said he's using a method. Let me tell you the problem.
No, he's using methods that's given to him by the Constitution. Obviously.
Here's what happened. I believe Trump came in, gang or mafia mentality, whatever you want to call it. First time around, he didn't know what he was doing. Like deer in headlight. He got a lot of lawyers around him, Heritage Foundation, a lot of folk, beat 2 impeachments. He said, hey, let's boss up. I'm going in like a gangster, and that's what I'm gonna do. Where these other guys came through the system, that's what's wrong. Barack Obama, a senator, this or that. Joe Biden, a senator. Bill Clinton, a governor. They came through trying to do it the right way through the political system. Our political system is messed up. Trump sees the holes in it, sees the loopholes in it. Talk to a bunch of folk. I'm going in, I'm just going to kick butt.
Hold on, Reagan, that's what I'm saying. Right. If we got all of these intelligent people that were governors, senators, and congressmen, but we got this dumb man that can see the holes and he poking in them, to me, man, hey, like it or not you.
Right. They try to play it by the book.
I think Trump doesn't
play by the book. Right. They try to play by the book. Trump don't play by the book is what I'm saying.
He doesn't play by the book, but let me digress just a little bit because I've been holding my peace because you and Byron Glass had a good conversation going, and I didn't want to interrupt it because I heard one of us say that he couldn't do what he was doing. He couldn't remove the what was it, Byron? He couldn't remove black memorabilia or whatever from the different places.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember, and maybe it's slipping my mind, but I think when the Democrats was in office, we removed a lot of statues We renamed posters and all the rest of that we did. But you know what he's doing? He's coming back and putting the names right back on them, right in our face. So I don't understand what he can't do.
Hey, Sean,
hey,
Rick, let me read Sean's comment. And this is true. Might is what America relates to. Make a decision and ask for forgiveness later. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I think you can agree with that too.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. That's the same thing about his
what Trump is used to doing is this: sue me.
Remember.
And it takes a long time while he's doing what he's doing.
The man
but also Trump has something in his favor. Trump has the Supreme Court. He appointed everybody that's over there. So I don't know, when I heard all those people talking about he's going to get all these charges, the last word is at the Supreme Court. That's all I can say.
He got 70-some million people that supporting it.
So help me understand. Maybe y'all know something I don't.
Had over 80, but they shaved the votes. But we're going to talk about that as it come out eventually.
Hey, Riggins, you see, that's what I'm saying. I would love to, let me just put it this way. What I do know is this. All of my life, I never thought that I would be dealing with issues like this that's almost as close to what I told my mama I would not be going through.
Yeah.
This man has come in 9 months, 6 months, and changed the whole dynamic of what we have grown up with and in since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So whether we admit it or not, somebody got some power somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with Riggins. You're right. He out the box. All I'm saying is, why didn't the other people get out the box? Even if they went as close to the line as possible. Clear example, Riggins. Didn't fight for Merrick Garland to become the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I know, man. We're in the problem right now because of that.
Exactly.
Merrick Garland got on Supreme Court.
Let me add to what Glass just got through saying.
Yeah.
Right.
This Epstein file didn't just come up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
All
been
of
on
them
since
knew about it
2008.
at the same time.
It's been going on since 2008.
So-
Why
so
didn't
if
bring it out back then?
If it went on in 2008, I guess what Ron is leading to is why didn't Barack release it?
Right. Why Barack didn't do it
Why
back
didn't
then?
Biden release it?
Because you know why? Bill Clinton and all them on that list. And Governor Bill Richardson and all them other people. And Prince Andrew and Rick England. They try to cover up their own people.
Hey, Ron, which brings me back to my point earlier. If the Krats get the majority, what makes us think they're going to release it now? Knowing what Riggins just said. You see what
All we want to release it now is if they can say, well, we got to cop our nose spot our face to get Trump out of there.
So
you know
Pastor,
what,
I'm gonna
man?
ask you this question that I asked Glass earlier. I think I said it earlier. I don't know if you heard it or not, but could the Democrats just be thinking that because he's gonna make so many mistakes between midterms that they're gonna hold him accountable?
That's what they're trying to do.
So let me ask you. Wait, Glass. I'm gonna do this because if they're gonna do that, you don't think they're gonna bring up Biden gate again right at election time?
Probably.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, but history tells you that the opposing party usually win in the first midterm election. So they got that on. And if you look at
Riggins, remember
the polls, they're 8 or 10 points ahead.
Remember now, we're dealing with something that the country has never seen before. So everything to me is out the window.
Yeah.
There's no normal now. And he's evidently created that. So again, I think this, Riggins. If you wait till the termites get to the last batch of wood before you start to spray it, damage is done. So if the Dems are waiting run for him to keep making these blunders, and man, hey, look, all he's doing is gaining votes.
Let me tell you something though. He's worried about something. That's why he wants to stop the mail-in ballot and everything in the midterm. He's worried. That's why he's trying to do the redistricting. He's worried. He is worried.
I'm just curious because trust me, they got all that ammunition over there, and you haven't heard. You see people like us talking about it.
I'm telling you, he's worried about the midterm.
But you don't see them bringing it out to the front. You don't see Democrats bringing all that stuff out to the front. And here's my biggest fear is that they stacking their cards while, as we always say, we're playing checkers and they playing chess. Because you're going to come up with, they already got the media. I got you, Glass. They already got the media. And their story's going to make it before ours get out there. Go ahead, Glass.
Hey, Mr. Spikes, we're looking at about 9:25.
Yeah, it's about time for me to go. Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, we getting ready to go.
We're going off into 2 hours. I'm gonna turn it over to Riggins. Miss Brown Guillory says, watch the timelines. Riggins, come on in your own way, man, and shut us down.
And don't give it back to either one of us.
Don't give it back to us.
Hey guys, very glad to have y'all on tonight. Everyone that came on, I came on a bit late. Glad that I was able to come on and get into this discussion. I don't believe the Democrats have conceded, but it's yet to be told. We've got to stay in the fight. We've got to do it from the grassroots up. I'm glad for those who Sean and Big T and Ms. Guillory and others who got involved tonight, and even whoever that other person was, Citizen X. Go ahead, Baron. You said
Rick, we got to have about 30 seconds to a minute. Now, you know what I did today, bro. I just went it on. I knew I was never going to get a suit from you. So I just went today and bought 2 or 3 myself, man. You know,
it was not a suit, it was a blazer.
Ron, I see him come on, you know, with his pattern suits and stuff like that. And not one time have he said, man, had the whole summer to go and look. Ain't school back in now, so I know I can't expect to get it.
Did I go look, Ron? Remember that time I said I went look and I said I ain't coming out till October?
Well, let me tell you something, Pastor. I took off my hat. I'm showing my gray hair. It's coming up on 2 hours, and I'm gonna agree with you guys that we ain't gonna talk about suits no more. We're gonna get a prayer in, and we're gonna end this show.
Go ahead on, Ricky.
Father, we thank you for the opportunity to conversate, to contemplate the things that we need to focus on.
Amen.
To come together to build a coalition from the grassroots up. We may be able to impact our community, our city, and our world. We thank you for the voices, for the energy, and even for the fun we have sometimes as we're trying to tackle these many issues that concern our community. We leave this platform, but not your presence. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Byron and threw up the deuces, so I know when I end this show, me and Pastor Regan is going to be here by ourselves. Yeah,
I'm done. See you later, buddy.
Y'all take care. Good night, everybody. Enjoyed you.